All right, and good evening. Welcome to our third installment of Nuestra Tabula Rasa. My name is Josh, also known as Mr. Floyd, and welcome. As you can see here, we are missing one specifically here. We do not have Millie tonight. Millie is a bit under the weather. She joined us for Truth Wave there. Millie was not feeling well in Truth Wave, and we did a, bubble of protection there. And so let's take a moment before we get started here, guys. And first off, let me introduce the rest of our panel here. Lucky, if you don't know Lucky, Lucky Stone 888. Everybody say hi there and Lucky. And Victor from Truth Wave, Victor from Truth Wave Energy Meditation. And finally, we have Trista, or she's better known as Witchy Trista, and she has her own channel under name Witchy Trista there. And so welcome, guys. If you're new here, of course, we do this every Sunday. So please like, subscribe, and of course, hit the bell for notifications when we go live. As of now, this is the only thing we're going to be doing on this channel, but that certainly could change at any point. So let's take a moment here, and Victor does such a good job here in Wave, though. We're going to have him lead a quick meditation here for healing meditation for Millie here, if you don't mind, Victor.
All right, and Millie just updated and says, hi, family. I'm in chat. Thank you for what you did. Helped me, less pain, and from sweating to cold. All right, but let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and reinforce. Let's reinforce that wonderful sphere of energy we put around her earlier. We put a nice sphere all the way around her. So just join me right now, if you will. Our friend Millie, and imagine her sitting in that beautiful sphere. She's laying in it prone, and there's a wonderful sphere of energy already around her. She's already saturated within that sphere with loving, healing light from many, many of us from earlier, from less than an hour ago, actually, about 30 minutes ago. So just envision that sphere right here. Just envision it. And now, just add more energy to it and change the color of that sphere. I'm seeing it as yellowish, golden yellow. I'm going to go ahead and make it green for a moment. Let's put some nice loving energy in there. Nice loving energy, and just transmute it all into nice green energy. And then let's add some purple in there and just transmute it instantly. And know that everything within this sphere is being healed right now. Those billions and billions of cells are feeling the impact. Millie is feeling it now. She's no longer cold, coming back to her normal temperatures. We're helping process whatever dis-ease or muck and gunk that's in her body right now, making her feel terrible. We're going to reverse that and make her feel amazing. Just bath her in this wonderful light. There we go. And now let's return it. Let's return it back to gold and golden yellow. There we go. Just see Millie's body in there being saturated with this beautiful healing, cleansing light. So it is. Excellent. There you go, Millie. You're going to be feeling great soon. Thank you for helping us with that. I lost Josh.
Nope.
All right. Josh is going to take a technical moment there. And I'll go ahead and jump in here real quick. Tonight we're going to talk about the current shift in planetary energies. And I can talk about this until he gets set up. But the main thing... Oh, I shouldn't say the main thing. Right, there we go. There we go, Josh. It's all yours, brother.
The microphone in the settings there. The Bluetooth, the Bluetooth earbuds didn't want to connect properly, so that's fine. So we'll just use no speaker, but that's fine, or no microphone. Thank you. Go ahead, Victor. Continue with what you were saying.
Oh, and the point came up. We were looking. We all discuss our topics for the week, and we like to make them relevant, of course, because it's something that we want to discuss. And as many of you know, I'm pretty sure everyone that's here has been in Truth Wave over the last couple of days, at least once, and maybe multiple times. But the energy has increased tremendously. And I was thinking, is it just us? Because we're actively working in energy every day. And then I thought, well, Josh has a show, Lucky has a show. Trista goes out and does energy work every day. She's an energy worker by trade. And then Millie is out amongst all kinds of communities throughout her day. And I thought, what a great thing. Let's talk about how it's increasing, and is it increasing, or is it just truth waivers? I don't think so. I think it's across the board. So, any input you guys would like to throw in from your own shows, or Trista being a frontline worker in that regard? Any of you, let us let's talk about it. I'm very curious.
Perfect. Thank you, Victor. Yeah, Victor came up with the topic, I believe. And so with that, thank you. Yeah. So what we're going to do, last time we had a little bit of a round table, but each individual spoke. This time, I think we're going to have a little more crosstalk and see how it works here. So really, I'm going to start with Trista and ask her for herself here. Um, Ladies first, absolutely. And again, welcome, guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. If there's anything that you see here that you like, throw it in the chat. If there's any formats, we're sticking things to the wall here. So if there's anything that you see that you'd like to see into the show, maybe throw it into the chat as well. But we're grateful you're here, guys. And so, yeah, Trista, with the current energies, basically what Victor said there, how are you feeling the current energies? What has changed in your universe? And really, if you want to compare and to see where you were maybe a year ago versus the current energies and whatnot, which is kind of dramatic in my humble opinion. But I'm going to pass it off to you and see what we got, Tristan.
Well, oh, geez, a year ago, I don't even know what I was doing a year ago. Um, but as I find I kind of have the best of both worlds because yes, I do energy work, but I also work in the store. It's like a health food store. So, I mean, our customers are pretty good compared to other places. Um, but what I've noticed, especially in the last, I'm going to say maybe week or two, or maybe even a month, people seem a lot more needy than normal. So, like, they'll just need you to hold their hand for every step of the way. And then, when they're done deciding on things, they'll hand all their crap to you to carry to the till. And it's like, well, you had that, but okay, sure, we'll do this. That's what we're doing. So it's kind of entertaining in that way. Um, and I don't know if that's like, I'm not sure what would inspire that, but more of like for more spiritual people, yeah, I think that there is an increase for sure. And maybe it's just that bigger divide that I'm noticing, or maybe the people that are not into this sort of thing are translating the increase in energy into almost a lack because the disparity is greater now. I don't know. I'm just speculating kind of off the cuff, but that's kind of what I've been noticing. As for a year, yeah, I don't even know what I was doing a year ago. I'm sure that it's changed. Of course, it's changed a lot. I've changed a lot in a year, but yeah, I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Oh, we lost Josh again.
If anybody wants to piggyback after Trista there, please go right ahead. Victor or Lucky there, just jump right in. How are you guys seeing the current energies? And are you seeing what Trista is seeing, or how is it differing in your universes? And what are you seeing and feeling from really the greater source field? And not only that, but in your specific toroidal field, your universe as well.
Go ahead, Lucky, because I can talk at length on this.
I'm a different entity, and I'm always grounding. I'm always putting a barrier around it, so I don't see a shift in energies. Only because in my past year, it has just been people are always dumping their energies, their negative, their let's just say the lower energies out, always constantly, and I'm always trying to, keep myself up. And some of keeping myself up is basically keeping an energy shield around myself. So I haven't seen much, but that's also I'm keeping arm's length away from most people at this moment as it is, because if I didn't, it would just drag me right down, because I'm easy susceptible to lower energies, and bring me down. I just don't want to live like that for right now. I want to be on if I have to keep myself shielded a little bit around people to keep my energies up, I'll do that. And I don't know what's going on. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of negativity everywhere. And my close friends are news hounds. They love watching the news. And for me, I just don't want to be like, it just drags me down. So I just let everyone vent and then let them keep their energy. So what's going around in the world right now? I honestly don't know because it's just so negative. It just the news puts out so much negativity that I let the people have their energies, and if they want to bring themselves up, oh, I can bring them up. I can bring everyone up when they ask. But if they don't ask, then I just keep myself in my little bubble and keep walking around in my bubble for now.
Nice. Nice. And I really don't blame you there from my end, being with the crazy weekend that I had at the concerts and such. Um, it's about finding that bubble, and then coming home, and of course I cleanse like crazy,
Hmm.
using Palo Santo and then using sage and salt in the bath and intentional grounding. And I was at the show. And I'm grounding. I was working on the field for fish, if anybody knew, here in Colorado. And so I have my as I walk onto the floor, I'm dropping an energetic pyramid. I'm seeing myself in a golden protection of light. And honestly, I'm also attracting. I'm doing something else. I'm attracting, sending out to the universe, attracting energies that would be around me that would match my vibration. That would be a positive in my vibration. That would bring positive energy to myself, and that I could balance out with during the show and when I'm working. And so, also, there's some proactive steps we can take when we're walking out into the universe by calling forth energies that would vibrate with us, by not being in such fear or and I definitely understand what Lucky's doing for sure, as far as putting in living in that bubbled space there. Definitely after this weekend, I pretty much am 100% there as well, and holding that space when I'm
There,
going out of the house.
there was
Definitely,
one thing I
yeah,
remember.
yes,
You burn Belisandra. Uh, 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 let's say a person from a local tribe that I hang around with, his one of the people I hang around with, one of the medicine men.
yes.
He gave me a handful of Belisandra and says, "You don't have to burn this. Belisandra is a sacred wood, and I carry a piece with me everywhere I go."
Ooh,
Because he gave me a
Interesting.
handful of them. I have one. Again, I think it's about, he might give me 5 or 6. I keep them. I keep all of them in a curio cabinet where we have like statues, stuff like that. I have one in a car, and this car lasted probably, it was 2004, and we just got rid of that car because it's got an oil leak that wasn't fixing. But that car would nothing. That car would run and run and run, and I kept it. And then the other one I keep with, and one of them keep with me. I have 4, and he, like I said, he said it's a sacred thing. You don't have to burn it. You can keep this forever. It has the energies, but he also infused some kind of medicine man energy. Nice guy, really nice guy. And me being white, I was honored to even be in his presence. But he said that this, what is it? The native spirit comes in all forms and fashions, and it's okay. You might be not welcome to some of the tribal things, but a lot of them, I can't see why not. And it was like, oh, it was an honor. It was an honor just to be in his presence. But yeah, Belo Santo, you'll hear a lot of people burn it, but just only one source, and it was one medicine man handed me a handful of them. They smell beautiful. But
hmm,
it's an interesting story. I've never heard anyone else mention it. I've had this for 5 6 years right now. I've never burned it, but it was the only person who says you don't have to burn it. Everyone else says if you want the energy, you have to burn it and walk around your house and the sage and stuff. It's like sage, but it was an interesting story. It was just an anecdote. How's that?
beautiful. No, I'm gonna with the high mileage car that I have there. Based on, I'm gonna be putting some Palo Santo in my car, along with the other stones that I have in there, selenite, and of course,
Oh, selenite. Oh yeah, selenite. I have selenite too. Yeah.
he's definitely you want to. Yeah, if you're not driving, if you live in a dense populated area and you don't have selenite in your car and need the ground, selenite, yes, wonderful stone. But and I love selenite. Any energy gone and I'm cleared. I walk into my house, I grab my selenite tower, and I'm clear. I feel clear. You can feel it like leaving. But yeah, and of course black tourmaline in my car as well for
Hmm.
sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, thank you. I had no idea that you could
Like
actually do that
it's
with.
like I said, it's only one source they've only heard that from, and to me, he's a special individual. He sees signs and symbols everywhere, and I would never even see the things, but he can pull things out and know things that, I mean, you don't have to talk. You can walk in the room with this guy, and this guy will just go boom, 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 pull
Nice.
things out of you without you saying a word.
Oh wow.
Um, Like he's also elderly, so he's got a lot of experience with these kind of energies, and also he's well respected individual, and not tribal people see him all the time, but not a lot of white people got to be in his presence.
Nice. Now, Victor, you're part Native American. So, what tribe are you a part of there? And have you heard this before? And if you want to continue on from what Lucky stated there, as far as how you're feeling the current energies.
I'm actually a member of two different tribes, and I actually live in the Cherokee Nation, which the state of Oklahoma, many of you Canadians may not know, but it's made up of various native. It's basically made up of 13 different tribes, maybe even more than that. I apologize for not knowing that, but I'm in one of the largest ones, and also within that tribe, I am also a member of the Delaware tribe of Indians, and they're located within. They actually have a parcel of land within the Cherokee Nation because the Delaware tribe got decimated throughout the years, and it kind of got absorbed in a sense. So, that being said, the I don't know. I would say I have some holy people like that around. I mean, I wouldn't say I see them on a regular basis. I want to go back. I want to go back to talk about the specific energies and what I do. And what I do is exactly what I say on my show. That's exactly what I do. I get up when I rise. I get up and start making my coffee. Then I come spend good dawning with you and our family. And guess what I'm doing though? Is I'm setting my intention for the day. I'm getting some show prep done, and I'm setting my intention. What's the world need to speak about today? And I handle energy a lot different. And I used to be, like I said last week, I used to carry Apache Tear in my pocket, and I think I ended up giving it away so many times. And then I kind of got to the point where I don't really need it anymore. And then as my energy grew, and this is no scuff or anything, no shade. I guess that's the popular word to say on anyone that still has these rituals that we do. But I've just had a lot of my rituals that I've done throughout the years fall away as I've embraced my work, essentially. So I set my intention, and I don't give it any thought now. Now I set my intention, and I can deal with anybody throughout the day. And the only time it stands out is if somebody's very strong negatively. And my negative experiences, I'm going to touch on that news. I cut out news, 3 or 4 years ago. And now I don't even pay any attention to it. I have no idea unless it really has to force its way in to come into my life to say, oh, this is going on. But look at that, for instance, at the Middle East. And we're going to talk about the global energies now. The powers that be, or the powers that were, the bad guys, essentially, because we know there's some good forces out there and we know there's some dark forces. I think pretty much that's kind of a given. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's pretty much in those two realms. Tried to start this horrendous thing in the Middle East. And guess what? People aren't buying it. People are tired. 30 or 40 years ago when I was an active duty Marine, I would go anywhere. You know what it's like, Josh. You're going to go where you're told and without question. But nowadays, you can't even trust. There's so many flaws, so many cracks in the various systems in every country on this planet that you really have to use your discernment when dealing or accepting anything. And the real easy one, for those out there that may still watch the news, I've seen some comments here. Most people are not watching it, fortunately. Clint brought up a good point about, don't tell any of your friends that you don't watch the news, because then they'll try to keep you updated on what's happening. Well, you think about how things are changing, and now people are seeing through it. People are seeing through the nonsense, especially if it's something out there, and it can even be from a YouTube person that has, a pretty big following. It can be from them. But it's if you get an emotional reaction from anything that you observe, especially in the news, then that is manipulation, more than likely. If you're getting there's some underlying thing there. Okay, because if you're watching something about Congress doing this or that, you get an emotional reaction from it, then you're being manipulated. It comes down, in my book, that is my belief, it comes down to being that easy. And we're so conditioned throughout all of our lifetimes, especially some of us older people. I've had multiple 45th birthdays. And you just had your birthday yesterday, Josh, and I'm older than you. You see, you know what I mean? And so I've been through it and I've seen it. And I've seen that time in the 80s where it seemed like everybody was coming together. It was like everybody was coming together. It was so nice. The 80s were it's such a great time. And it seemed like we were heading to the right place. And then something happened. Maybe it was 2012, whatever happened. It's just like everything got twisted on its end. And now it's like divide, divide, divide. And I hate to, well, I don't hate anything, but bringing up things that divide us. And what does the news do? It's not there to unite us in any way. And then now people are discovering that we don't need it. We don't need the news. We don't need that tragedy. That we don't need to know there's a tragedy going on in Florida. What is that? How does that improve our lives how does that improve our being? Oh, by staying up with current events. Well, who sold us the bill of goods that said we have to stay up with current events? The powers that be. You see, the powers that be. And it's like one more level of manipulation, And people are waking up to it. And I think everyone in our community is definitely seeing the change. Seeing the change, we're feeling it. We're feeling it as being on the front line in the sense that I feel all of your energy every night. And it's getting stronger and stronger. But that is kind of in our closed, tightly knit community. But the thing is that's why I talk about us being, we're out there pushing this energy and out there sharing it. And that's the philosophy I take with my daily interactions. And granted, I didn't go to a concert. How many people were there? 30,000 people, Josh?
Probably more like 40.
Okay, so 40. But see, I don't have that daily or even weekly. I don't know the last time I was around 40,000 people. So I can't give you my experience because I kind of keep myself sequestered for the work that I do. And maybe that sequestered life of mine, I'm around 30 people in a restaurant, maybe max, maybe 40, 50, and I keep my vibe going. And I just kind of set it and forget it. Like, I like to talk about Rompapil all the time. I just set it and I don't make it a thing. And I have more experiences with people lashing out on me than anything. And it can be some interaction. If I just speak nicely to them, they're like, what the hell are you saying to me? Blah, 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 blah. I've had it happen twice in the last year. People wig out on me. And all I'm saying is, hey, I don't know how I offended you. But then they really go for the throat with me. And I think that's an energetic thing for sure. I don't think it's that they're possessed or anything. It's just their energy does not like being around mine because it jacks with them. Or, it makes them feel uncomfortable because it brings out, and as beacons of light that we all are, you guys, even in chat, and here on this panel, when you're dealing with somebody and they're of that lower vibration, they're at a lower vibrational frequency. That's their path. Okay. They are where they're supposed to be at this time. But when we have that interaction with them, you immediately get a snapshot of where their energy is. Whether you like to say it or not, you're going to get some kind of picture of it. And those people that are operating down there, they don't like to be around people like us that are beacons, that are spreading that light. Or if they jump into they bump into Lucky's bubble, they're not going to like it. Well, they're probably going to feel it, but they're going to be like, oh, that's too much for me because they have all their paradigms are tested every time they interact with our energies, you see. So it's to get to the root of our meeting tonight. I think that it's paramount that we notice and we acknowledge. Well, we don't have to acknowledge. You don't have to do anything if you're not led to. But it's that fundamental noticing that, look, we just avoided a nuclear war somewhere on the planet. Okay, that's about like the biggest news I saw, hey, they're trying to sell it. Oh, nobody's buying it. Let's move to the next thing. Try to sell it. Oh, let's move to the next thing. And people are done with it. And I think that's the global consciousness. That's the global vibration. And every time, even this gathering, we're raising the vibration out there. Even if we're just raising the vibration of the dozen people that are watching us right now, hey, that doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter. Because anybody that's feeling this amazing energy that's flowing around our planet right now, starting with us four right here and Millie, this group of ours, Why did we decide to come together? Because we like talking about the things that raise our vibrations. We like meeting with people that we like to be around. It's just straight up simple. Wow. Shoot. I told you I was going to go on. I rabbit holed on that one. I apologize.
No,
I have a
no.
comment,
Go
if
ahead,
I
Tristan.
may.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um, so I think part of it, at least, is when we're vibrating differently at different frequencies with other people. And if you think about like when you play two notes on a keyboard, if they don't match, they don't match, and they don't sound good together, and they're not gonna vibe, like literally. So I think sometimes when people are vibrating at a lower frequency or less coherent frequency, and then they come around somebody who is very coherent, it just doesn't match, and they don't like it, and it feels icky to them, right? So yeah, they're gonna lash out. It makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Trista. Um, I've noticed for myself, and I was explaining to somebody, uh, talking to somebody today about, she was talking about work and all these people yelling at her. And I said to her, that's their trauma reaction based on your position of authority, most likely, or something that you are doing to them that is triggering a traumatic reaction where they're basically throwing an adult temper tantrum in front of you, and which is what it all boils to, right? And so if you can see it that way, you can almost laugh at it, just like Victor was doing, exactly, and you can almost laugh at it and go, all right, are you done yet? Let's go ahead and move on with our unit, exactly. But she because a lot of us will take that as a personal, our egos step in, we take it as a personal attack. But a lot of us here, I've noticed, in just in our communities and whatnot, are really gray workers where we're working with the dark and the light, and really working to merge our darkness and our light into that shadow aspect into the light, and kind of walk as one energy with all of that. And so as gray workers, I've noticed, at least for myself, and no title per se, but as someone who deals with, I've noticed that I can trigger people who aren't healed. It's just being around people get angry at you, people dump their garbage at you. For myself as a Cancer, I've noticed, as just an emotional person, in general, that people might want to dump how they, how's your day, bad about boom, and then they dump it. I don't own it or anything. I don't, but just as that emotional, people feel safe to dump it on, and then they're like, now do I want to keep? No, I don't have to keep the energies. I don't have to take it. I can throw up a wall. But I can listen and empathize with somebody's day. But I don't have to hold that or own that energy. But I kind of looked at this whole topic a little bit differently, because the energies as a Cancer are quite unique in the astrological space right now, with Jupiter moving in to Cancer, and sitting there for the next 13 months, 12 months and change now, and till 26, July of 26, August. And so Jupiter being the sign of luck, right? And things changing in Cancer's universe. And Cancer generally has been kind of the slower energy, the dumped energy in the astrological wheel in the past few years. So I've noticed that. And then, of course, Venus is moving into Gemini, which hasn't done in 70 years. And of course, that's doing it on 7-7. So that's a 777 portal there. And 777 is a number of luck. And of course, the Venus or Uranus, I should say not Uranus, Uranus in Gemini works with communication, innovation, and connection. So when Uranus moving into Gemini is going to, and of course, frame up your communication and how you see your universe and how you connect with others. And of course, Jupiter is moving into Cancer in the first house, and the first house is all about how you are seen and how you frame out yourself. So there's a lot of change. You talk about the changing in energies, and then of course, a Capricorn moon on 710, and of course, as a Cancer, that's going to be the Capricorn North Node. So just all that shift in one foul swoop for myself, and of course, where I'm standing in my personal universe, and how in my toroidal field, how I need to make some massive shifts within that to kind of reclaim my energies now. Once you, that's the back end of once you go through the dark night, it's like, okay, now you have to start working in 3D and 5D as one and creating, as the master creators that we are, source on earth, right? Creating our universes with intention. And so all of these energies that I'm seeing here are specifically pointing towards personal growth. It's a time to release old patterns. It's embracing new ways to think and be, especially in relationships, goals, values, how you express yourself. So all of this for myself, astrologically, is spot on to where I'm at in my personal universe and how the things that I need to do for myself, which is to actually create some sort of lasting change here and get out of the survival mode that I've been in for 48 years, basically. And so seeing that and seeing the astrology of all of this and talking about the energies that are coming in from all of that and how they're extraordinarily matching my universe, like nothing I've ever seen, as long as I've been looking at astrology, which has only been a few years, to be honest. But yeah, so I thought I'd just take a different approach on that, and seeing those all those fire energies within myself is changing how I'm walking through the collective, pretty much on a daily basis. At this point, I'm getting all these revelations about all the karmic cycles that I've been having, energies, the way I think, and all of these things just peeling away as I keep step into my new universe. So in that aspect, I'm seeing that also in the greater source field in others as well. I'm seeing people in some aspect, everybody is making what I'm seeing some sort of shift in some sort of way. And I'm seeing that you moved and made a big shift in your universe. Trista's stepping up and making shifts here and at work in her universe. And lots of people are as well in the family here. And so what I'm seeing is that it's a time for those who are aware that they are energetic, that they are creating the energies of their personal lives, their universes. When I say universe, I just mean your life. Um, Basically, what
I
you're
like
creating
that.
your life. Yeah. And we see each other's lives. Everybody has they see it through their own eyes. We realize our own universe, and what I'm seeing is that people are starting to respect what other people are doing now, and
Hmm.
how they're starting to make changes in their universes, and people are supporting each other, not only in this community but in the greater source field. Those who are helping each other, to those who are rising up, and I don't even see it rising up. It's really just dropping all the stuff, the dense stuff that it's disallowed you to see that you were the light to begin with.
Well, look at that, Josh. You just nailed part of it. Is look at the people here right now. Okay, look, we're all from different communities. We have tarot readers here. We have astrologers. We have yoga people. We have uh, just seekers. I mean, so many different modalities are coming together. Look at all the people coming to your show. That's
Mhm.
coming, and you may not realize it because you're kind of busy during your show. And Lucky can speak on this as well, and I think Trista maybe will say something, of course. But it's like we have all these different modalities now coming together and finding unity. And 2 or 3 years ago, you wouldn't have specifically a bunch of Reiki people are talking about energy necessarily in a tarot show, or be a regular at a tarot spot. And at least I wasn't called to it. Now I'm a regular on our community shows. I go to them all the time throughout the day and things like that. And Lucky brought up Elizabeth April, and I used to be 5 or 6 years ago. I wouldn't miss anything she said, and then her energy shifted, and I noticed it. Or was it my energy that shifted? Because I think some of those, I think Elizabeth April does amazing work out there, and she has a niche. She has a niche that she is feeding, nourishing with her voice and with her words and with her work. However, I think my energy and her energy has diverged. And I'm not suggesting to anyone that you stop watching. I still catch her Monday show, but I just don't resonate, excuse me, with her like I used to. And when something stops resonating with you, what do? Well, you move on. You stop viewing, and I've had people come in to Truth Wave. You guys have seen it. Come in and they come in and come in, and then boom, then we don't see them any longer because they come in and get the nourishment they need, and they move on. And it's a really interesting kind of cycle to see that happening, and I would love to see where they move on to, because maybe I need to go check that out too. Not saying I'm moving on or anything. Excuse me. However, I find it interesting. I used to be a big Aaron Doherty fan too. I'm not I am not a not fan of his. I'm not. I think he does great work. But do you guys know who Aaron Doherty is by any chance?
Yes.
Of
Okay,
course.
you do. Okay, well,
You got to
you
have
don't.
Victor to that too, right? Aaron and Victor.
Yeah, Victor Odo and then Matt
Yeah.
Schaefer. Well, I think Matt is not. I think he. Well, regardless of Matt, I think they're all a wonderful trio. Had a big thing on Facebook. A couple every year they have a big thing. I met a lot of people there, which is great. And but Aaron, I used to absorb everything that Aaron had. But then the thing is I think some of it has to do when you start feeling that monetary aspect of their work. Yeah, see, Lucky knows what I'm talking about already. And I felt that deeply with Elizabeth April. Something in her changed and it became more, the energy of it felt more money oriented instead of helping oriented, if that makes sense. And that's one thing that, like our group here, we're not sitting here worried about. We have our monetary issues. Everybody needs money to survive, unfortunately, but it's one of those things. Is we're not we're not putting our message out there just to get somebody to go buy our book or go buy our session or do this or do that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I've paid for tarot readings and things like that. It's nothing to do with tarot because it's straight up, you're going to support that tarot reader because it's like one of those things. But it's like certain people will be out there trying to get this beautiful message out, but oh my God, it's behind a paywall. Hey, go to my site and so you can see this message, but now it's behind a paywall, and you're like, kind of like, oh, come on, man. If you wanted to help us. And many of our friends will sit there and do a couple hours of just reads. They'll just read and read and read. And if you want an extended session or something or more specifics, then hey, come into my website and things like that. I appreciate that. That's not the group I'm talking about. I'm talking about that would be like me saying every night or Josh saying, hey, I've got this wonderful message from Saint Germain. And I love I love when you channel. And I prefer your channel when you do more channeling, but yeah, that's my opinion. But the thing is you don't say, "Oh, I just got this wonderful word from Saint Germain," and it's on my website, and then I go to your website, and if it was behind a firewall, then I'd be like, "Son of a gun, man, come on!" I wanted to hear that message. So it's that whole fine line that we walk as we're trying to expand the universe and raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. But we still have to put food on our tables and pay bills and things like that. So I appreciate that with all of you guys. Not, it is not money focused like many of our contemporaries out there are doing. Unless and if that's what you want to be, then that's what you want to be. I'm not shaking a stick at it. I'm just saying I think it gets a little muddy. That's a good way to say it. It just gets a little muddy when certain things are behind paywalls and hey, I have this wonderful message for you. And I watched something 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this lady was on here and she was articulate and sounded great and motivational, good energy. But then you go to her stuff and somebody even said it in chat. Oh yeah, well, I'd love to hear this message from the Arcturans, but it's buried behind a monthly subscription or this or that. So yeah, that's my 2 cents, and it's just not my motivation. And yeah, it's not the easiest thing to understand, but it's not my motivation is to get the word out there and to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. And I feel I'm led to do this. You guys all know my story of how I came about it. So uh, that's what I'm all about. And I think it's happening. I think the veil is lifting and people are realizing what the heck's going on around them and just not buying into it anymore. And I think about it. People play video games. People out there, a lot of video games. If that video game doesn't have some message buried in it that's causing them to have a low vibration, and I think even if they're out there playing first person shooters is probably better than being exposed to the news 24/7. Think about that. It's kind of weird to get your mind around that a first person shooter where you're killing stuff or other beings could possibly be higher vibration than the actual news. It's crazy to think about. Any thoughts on that?
Well,
Oh
I'm going
yeah.
to jump back real quick, and you said we all have our money issues. I'm going to cancel that. real quick, just because
Well, we all have to
no,
deal.
no, I know what you mean, but I see my universe, whether they're is resolved financially. There we go. Yeah, I'm just seeing it differently. But yeah, so I'll cancel that.
But that
My
goes a long way. What you just did right there is positive affirmative
right.
talk, because we're the first person to believe anything and everything out of our
Yeah,
mouth.
exactly,
And if you
exactly.
walk around like Lucky, to your point, Lucky, you feel like you're under attack all the time. Guess what? If you feel like that and you're stating it out loud, guess what you're going to bring in? That's that same thing. You're going to bring in that oh, if I don't do this, then this is going to happen. If I don't do this, this is going to happen. And I know you're saying that from your experience, and I don't know your personal experience on how and how that makes you feel, but all I can say is just maintain that positive mindset about the way you speak about things in your life, because I think it's really important, very important.
And watch our thoughts, because our thoughts go so much faster too, right? So if you
Mm.
have those negative thoughts, that's just like stop those dead in their tracks for sure.
Oh, I have to agree with you on that one. That's a that's
I
like the
can't remember
crown.
the number. Yeah, the number of like how many thoughts we have per second. But yeah, it's phenomenal. So definitely that first um, cutoff is right there. And then it takes practice, right? And it manifests and kind of grows as you learn to do it too, right? And as you form that new habit where you do stop that thought and then like change its um, what's the word I'm looking for? Just flip it around, right? And spin it in a different way. And then
Reframe it.
once,
Reframe.
yes, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
He's
And
always
then,
he always does that. He always gets the word. That's right.
yeah,
All right. Sorry.
no, all good. Yeah. And then once you can keep doing that repeatedly, and I mean, it takes time, of course, and practice, but
And
it
effort.
gets, yeah, yeah. And easier and easier and easier as you go.
Absolutely. What I've noticed is that it's really all about what's centered inside you. As you're walking down the street, do you have like this is gonna sound goofy as I'll get out here, but it just fits.
Bring it.
Like inside, I feel like the swagger that walking down the street, like staying alive. He's got that swagger, and he's walking down the street and Saturday. Night. Just it just came to mind. Anything like that, when you're just walking with the energy, right? Or are you slouched down, hanging down, your head's hanging to the ground, you're like, oh, woe is me, kicking cans and whatnot. That's a totally different energy than when you're walking, and you know it because when you're in that high 5D, you're that 5D, 3D, whatever, the high vibrational space. You're walking. You literally your chest sticks out a little more. Your back staying more straight. You're standing up more upright. And the question is, which when you're walking down the street, what are you carrying in your frame, and who are you that day? When you get out of bed, are you somebody like who pissed in his Cheerios kind of guy and gal, or are you having a good day? And can you carry that? And can you carry the vibration that? No, my universe, like my mantra, I just wake up. Everything is resolved, and I know what needs to be resolved, and so does my universe. What is resolved? It doesn't need to be because then it's never going to get resolved. What is resolved in my universe, and I just keep seeing that, and I keep stating that. And when this is resolved, everything is resolved. It's just taken care of. It's done. And I just keep believing that it really is. And I wake up, everything's resolved. It's all good, and I just keep on trucking, and carrying that resonant energy within me. Things are resolving, which is what I've noticed because I'm seeing literally everything is resolved, and it's just like my whole vibration, and so things are resolving one thing at a time. Things are getting better and resolving. So a lot of that, what I've noticed is, no, are we in lack or are we in fear? Is what is that center at your core? What are you standing in at your core today? When you wake up tomorrow and you ground and you put your foot on the ground and you go, all right, centering, and you push your energy and you put yourself in the frame. What is at that core energetically today? Are you seeing lack? Are you seeing love? Are you going out and I'm going to go take on the world today. I'm going to create the best universe. What is driving that bus? And that's what I've noticed is for a lot of us, that energy is getting better and better on a daily basis. But for a lot of the collective, that energy is also, because if we're going to see that in us, we're also going to have to see the opposite of that until we don't need to anymore, of course, in the collective as well. So I'm also seeing the swing out where there's a larger than not. The sky is falling. NTM. Oh my God! It's all ending. This is the next tragedy. And but of course, if you really look at it, not in my universe, nothing. The dollar hasn't crashed. Nothing crazy has really happened. Russia's still. You get where we're going here. Nothing absolute. Grocery prices are still. Gas went down. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing any of that. Are you? I'm not digging around looking for it either on NNC or XOF or any of the other stuff either. So the question becomes, what is it? What is it? Who are you, and what energy are you choosing to be? There you go.
I think that's a good point. And Clint just wrote something in chat that's worthy of bringing up, of course. Well, there's a lot of great worthy things written in chat, but he talks about going, he has a special place he goes to when he feels out of sorts and things like that. He has a special memory that he goes to, and it even has even has accompaniment. It has music along with it. I think that's great. I think that's a wonderful tool that we have at our disposal, is to find that happy space within us to go to anytime that we have a challenge come up. I think it's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm a clear audience. So for myself, I create a playlist, and so if I need to, I can just jump on the playlist, and with by the first or second song, generally any song on there is gonna shoot my vibration because they're all songs that do that for me. And generally speaking, unless I'm really like trounced out, like stomped over by energy, I'll within minutes there. It won't take long. Just with the right music frequencies there, I'm going to jump up and be in a better space. But it's not always about trying to get out of that space. So sometimes if you're in that space, there's a reason for it. And that's where being that great worker, digging into that. And why am I sitting in that dark space and what's dragging it out of me is also key as well. So.
I agree. Lucky?
A lot. You guys have unloaded a lot, and I am not
Yeah.
one to interrupt ever. So I will just, go with the flow. And no, I don't believe people are attacking. I just see the energy is out there and I don't need their energy. I don't believe they're attacking me as much as I believe they're carrying their energy and not attacking, but unloading. People are always unloading, coming to me with their problems, their issues, their struggles. And I've learned that my solutions mean nothing until they're ready for it. So I let them speak and I listen to them with compassion, but I let them keep their energies. I let them keep their low energies, but I'm still there to them to listen. Um, and also, you use a lot of visualization in your meditations. The
Mhm.
funny thing about me is you mentioned the physical hands and you raise your physical hands. The problem with me is in my meditations, I am a different being with like 6 arms and 2 legs. And when I
Wow.
make the bubble, I use all these energetic arms to make the bubble in my head. When I'm dealing with somebody, I will use my energetic arms, which I have 6 of them, to reinforce the bubble without physically going boom, 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 boom. I need to build my energy because you've got a lot of negativity. I don't need that bouncing off of me. And that's something that, again, the funny thing about us spiritual workers is we might have a unique perspective and we've got to accept that because we're going to get so much data like this is the right way to do it. This is the right way to think.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
right way to meditate. When we go, well, that doesn't work for me. Is there something wrong with me? And you have to say, no, there's nothing wrong with me as much as I need to keep what works for me.
That's right.
Another thing is that negative self talk. For me, I learned that's just a voice that never got the attention it wanted, like a toddler. And I say, even though it's giving negative self talk, I say, hey, I hear you. I'm compassionate listening. I'm not acting on that, but I appreciate your input. But let's just say what in that is true. So let's dig that out. Because again, the negative self talk, I believe, is based off a tiny bit of truth. The problem is you got to find that and accept the negative self talk as a voice that just needs to be heard and say, yeah, I hear you. Thank you for your words. But can we tone it down a bit, and just give me more of the facts and take less of the fear out of it. And it's helped me a lot because I do that with this kill the ego. No, I never would kill my ego because I believe that's my watchdog. It's not if it's not well controlled and well trained, it's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt those around me. But if I use my ego as an accessory, going, I hear you. Now you have to be in control. I'm going to hear you. I'm going to listen with you compassion. But let's do better. And it's the negative self-talk has decreased. It's not stopped, but it's decreased. But a lot of these things that this is my spiritual path. This is how I deal with the things. And I also know people who deal with demons. I have never once dealt with a demon. Even when I went and was into a forest with a demon, it wasn't a demon. It was a protective entity that just people were treating it like garbage, like their personal, their dumping ground. And I went to it and I'm saying, hey, I now realize you're not a demon. What can I do? And it's just like, no one's cleaning up my place. I can't clean it up. I'm a spiritual being. I would love to influence these people, but the only thing these people understand is fear. And so I decided, okay, fine. Let me bring something to you. I will walk on and clean it up, and I'll put it out on my channel and tell people around, and I'll try to contact the people in charge of this area to help get this cleaned up. And I found 3 people to help clean it up, and we've got a lot of stuff done. We've got a lot of trash out of there, and that actually improved the energy of the area. So all these little things that you can do, that there is no book that tells me how to do this, but for me, I learned. And I mean,
Did you learn on your own? Did it just come to you?
I found that in my own personal experiences is teaches me a lot more than any of the books will teach me. The books are good foundation. The books, Elizabeth April and Erin Doherty, and there's another one who have great stuff. But you're right, there a lot of stuff is behind a paywall, but they will release nuggets of truth. They will
Sure.
beneficial. But I don't use those as, okay, these are gospel, these are truth. I use them as, oh, these are foundations for me to build on so that I can take that, look at that, study it, and go, what can I take with this? Put it aside, build upon that, and use it as my own. I mean, the spirits that I run in every day, like I said, I've met people like, oh, there's a demon here, a demon there. Demons are everywhere. And I'm like, I don't see demon anywhere. The biggest, scariest thing was it was a 20-foot tall shadow being. And once I was acknowledged, I'm like, yeah, you're a big guy. I love you, and I respect you, and I'm sending you compassion. At which point it flew away. It nowhere wanted anywhere near me with the compassion and love. And that's when I learned, wait, these negative entities that truly are negative entities that don't want to deal with someone like me, you send them love and compassion, they're going to stay far away. It's the people and the entities who are kind of balanced between the two, where they want the attention, they have their baggage. Now, I don't have to take their baggage, but I can also give them compassion, love, and help increase their compassion and love and help them dissuade their negativity and send them on their way. I don't have to force them. I just bring it up, I send them energy, and then I go on my way. Everyone's happy.
Nice. Would you like to add to that, Trista? How would you, if you want to follow
I
up?
just want to say, Lucky, your selfful love hugs must be amazing with your 6 arms.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't even bring that one up. Yeah.
I love that.
That's
Because
awesome.
the funny thing is the right side sends out energy and the left side brings in energy. Yeah, it is. If you imagine like an atom with the spinning electrons around me as a nucleus, that does come up. Yes, that is one of the things. But again, I don't know how others would take that, so I just bring it up as an anecdote, not an antidote, an anecdote. I've been switching those words around sometimes. There's an anecdote where this is what I do. And you might have a whole unique something different. You don't have to do what I do, but you do it to realize that if you do something different and it's working for you and no one else does it, it's still okay. Just accept it, grow with it, and bring it up occasionally. But if someone says, oh, that's the wrong way to do it. My favorite thing is my story with my wife. In the beginning, I was talking about my meditation with my wife, all excited. And her first response was, that's wrong. That's not how you meditate. And I was just like, oh, really? And then that's when the higher self said, let her have her thing. You have your thing. You don't have to change her mind. If she says that's the right way to meditate, that's the right way to meditate for her, and that's fine. No need to argue. Accept it. Move on. There's no reason to convince her that's not the one way, because
Yep.
for her that is the one way, and that's fine. And for me, a lot of times that the argument part of me, that negative, the ego wants to argue. Yes, argue. I know the right way. I know the truth. There's more ways. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Even if you have the truth, if the person's not willing to receive it, why bring it up? Just accept them as they are. Accept me as how I am. And if they don't want to accept me who I am, well, I love myself enough to go, okay, that's cool, and walk on. So yeah, the six arms thing, yeah, that is a unique thing that I don't even think about. It just happens where I go boom, 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 and just and then I become this. Just the energies just keep going around and around, because the one in, one out, and then you got another in, another out. It's just different aspects of that energy. Yeah, you're right. It is. It is.
Well,
It's a unique thought.
is it,
Yeah.
isn't there an Indian god though that has multiple arms? Which one is it?
Most of them do.
Yeah. That's Vishnu has it. Kali does it sometimes, depending on which art she's in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that, Lucky. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
It's not even something that I even thought. It just, you were talking about the two hands, and I'm like, I have six. What do I? Oh, energy hands. It's okay. It's okay. Just go with it. Let him have his thing. I mean, honestly, would you say, this isn't a no Josh environment?
A no butt Victor.
No, no but Victor. Yeah,
It is a
you.
Josh environment.
Yeah. The no but Victor, right. It's because Josh is running it, but I'm getting excited. That's the problem. But yeah, and for me, I'm like, but I don't have the no. I don't have the no, and I'm like, and then of course the voice says, yes, but others do. So just because you don't doesn't mean you can't sit there and accept it and move forward in it. Just listen with compassion. If it doesn't work with you, you can still listen with. That's the higher self is always saying, you don't agree with this. This doesn't fit with you. It's okay. You just sit quietly. Except use that time when you don't need that right now. Well, keep bringing more energy in. Shift your energy. Change the colors. Do whatever you can while they're speaking, and bringing the people who have the negative self-talk, and he's helping them. You can still have your time to find any aspects that have a little holes that need to be reinforced, and go from there. Yeah, there's a lot to your meditations that sometimes I'm like, well, this isn't exactly in alignment. I don't really need this, but that's okay. I can sit quietly and still reinforce with my six arms and be happy.
Yeah, and every time you do that, though, every time you reinforce it, you're helping raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. You're helping in your part, just like Trista helps in hers and Josh helps in his. And Lakeside Laura writes, no Josh environment for you. No Josh environment for you. That's from the soup guy. Yeah, the soup guy. That's awesome. Wow,
But yeah,
that's awesome.
the way Lucky's got a good point there. There's 8 billion vibrations on this planet, theoretically, right? And everybody's going to have their own. They realize the universe, their universe, differently than my universe is definitely different than Lucky's, and definitely different than Victor's and Trista's. And so we're all going to it's like all roads lead to Rome, but you get there however you get there. You may be riding a Schwinn, you may be riding a tricycle, you may be riding a unicycle, you may take a skateboard there, you may skip down the street, but we're all going to get there eventually in some fashion. So yeah, everybody has their own opinions on how to get there. But I've had this thing going on with my guides and my angels for a while here, and I'm real big on the clear audience. And if you guys know, if you see a chat and somebody puts a music reference in there, I'll throw the whole song out, lyrics and stuff. I'll type it up and throw it in the chat. But yeah, so the song that keeps coming up, and this should be really for everybody. And my guides, and it's not like I'm dead or anything. You wouldn't play when you're done, right? But it's like I did it my way, right? It's like we're all doing it our own way. There's nobody who's I'm not. My spirituality is not Lucky's. It's not Victor's, nor is it Trista's or Millie's or anybody else's. It's mine, and it works for me. Because and it works only for me. I wouldn't expect Lucky, and then what I do for myself to work for Lucky, and it may, but it may not, and that's okay. We're all different vibrations, but what we can do is learn from each other the best techniques, with what works for Lucky, what works for Victor, what keeps Lucky in that state where he can hold that bubble, and maybe he can help others to say, okay, here's how I hold that bubble and push other energies out, and at least keep myself centered while I'm walking through down the street. I walk that center line, and everyone moves away from me, which is, how does that translate? How do you, and we all have those special techniques that we can pass on and help each other to learn as well, and really take the best of from each other and lift each other up, which is the way I see that we can really help each other in that aspect.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Looks like we're at the top of the hour. You guys have it? I'm sorry, come step on you there, Josh. But
It's all good. It really doesn't matter. I mean, we're all running. As long as the show's flowing, it doesn't matter. Trista didn't say. Did you have anything you wanted to close out with there,
You
Trista?
know,
What we've been discussing, and then I want to do something real quick, spin around with each of us.
I thought of two phrases. They kind of mean the same thing, but that I love. Truth is many, or sorry, paths are many, truth is one, and one light, many windows. And I love those because it's so true, right? We're all
Mhm.
on that same journey, and it's just we take different paths to the same place. That's all I have to say.
That's right. I agree.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, before we do close here, each and every one of you guys have your own channel. We're gonna start with Lucky. We'll go to Trista and then Victor there. Lucky, if you can, talk about your channel just for a minute, what you do, and schedule for this week on your channel, please.
I just do what the heck I want half the time. Most of it's philosophy, and it comes up in my head while I'm walking because I need a daily walk in the woods. That's what I do. And just how I decompress before work, after work, depending on how I feel. And then I just bring up whatever comes to mind. As for schedule, I mean, honestly, next week, yeah, Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Me and Courtney do the esocentric tea show, which is basically us discussing things and us having our unique perspectives. And after that, I do a show with Milky Way Soul Tribe. And it's not something that I even chose to be the co-host of these two channels. It's basically it just happened. Like this show. This show just happened to fall in my lap. And cool, sure, I'll do it. It just happened to do it. I just go with the flow. In my channel, I don't need subs. Everyone says, "Oh, so subscribe to Lucky," and I don't really care. I mean, my channel is whoever needs it comes to me, watches it, picks it up, goes with it. It's great. I all the subs I got wasn't for asking, it was just for just being there, and people just subbing for who knows why. And I'm okay. I'm happy with that. Whatever. If people want to complain to me or unload and do everything in the comments, as long as they're not arguing with each other, I'm cool with that. I mean, it's just if someone has a different perspective of what I have for my philosophy, I like it because it gives me a new perspective, and all my channels about is new perspectives and understanding each other, and hopefully learning. I just want to learn one thing each video. That's it.
Love it, love it. All right, thank you, Lucky. And if you haven't seen Lucky shorts, they're pretty awesome. And I love that follow me drawing you do there. That's pretty awesome. Man. All right, Trista, tell us what
So
you do and what you got.
yeah, so on my channel, I have different like frequency sessions. So it'll be like tuning forks. Sometimes I'll throw a singing bowl in there, and energy, of course. And I do them pre-recorded, but they're effective no matter when you listen to it. Someday I'll go live, I guess. This is pushing it for me anyway. We'll see how it goes. And it's hard for me to commit to a same time as well, but it'll get there. And then I also have like some videos where I just kind of ramble about things, and then cats, of course, because
And
they're
are
here.
you available for one-on-one sessions as well?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So how would they get in touch with you?
So my email is manifestingchange1976@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
And that's on my channel, like in the whatever description or
Yeah, it's in
whatever.
the description, of course, at Witchy Trista as well. So definitely check her out. And I can tell you for a fact there, my gut chakra was not truly activated, and then one of her videos completely activated my solar plex there. I don't know if it's complete. Nothing's complete, but it's been definitely been alive in a manner that it definitely was not before I watched the video there with the tuning forks. So Trista, thank you. Amazing stuff.
Awesome. Thank
Victor,
you.
brother, tell us about your channel and your universe there and Truth Wave and whatnot.
Well, my universe is changing a little bit this week because on Wednesday, I'm going to expand my normal stream time, probably about 15 minutes. So we'll be starting at the bottom of the hour. So there'll be a small gap between Good Dawning. I'll probably start at 15 minutes early just on Wednesday on the 9th because that's my channel anniversary, my first year anniversary. My channel, I created the channel, but I didn't, I think I waited 6 weeks or 4 weeks or something before I went live. And it's my first live show. Big change, lots of changes. If you want to get an interesting perspective, is it's kind of hard to sit through. You go sit through my first show. It's interesting, but I'm also announcing a big nugget on that show. So on the anniversary, I'm going to announce something, a big change that's coming to Truthwave, and it's not going away or anything like that. It's nothing drastic, but it's a big change that is happening, and I'm looking forward to announcing that. And I've been working on it for a couple weeks now, and we meet twice a day, as many of you know. I think everyone here pretty much knows, but for all of you on the replay, we meet twice a day at Truthwave. I haven't actually put my link in here, but I will. And Lakeside Laura just suggested that we put it in our description as well. Duh. We should be. I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me. But yeah, so big changes coming to my universe. I love saying that, Josh. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all, of course, each time we gather, because each time, you guys, each of you are part of Truth Wave. And even if all the parts don't, to Lucky's point, even if they don't resonate with you, even if you're in chat holding, hanging out with the family, you're holding space. Like Lucky says, I'm holding space if I'm not completely resonating with what's going on. And that's important. So thank you for that, Josh. And I'll see you guys every 12 hours. So in about, what is it? As Heaney here, she'll have to figure that out. But at 8:45 Monday through Sunday, weekday, 8:45 a.m. or p.m. You can find us. I think everyone pretty much knows in the chat, but for all of you watching later, that's the time. Thank you, Josh.
Fantastic. Angela, if you want to put your channel in the chat, that would be blessed. All right. So for myself, my name is Josh Mr. Flood. I do Good Dawning, which is Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. my time, which would be 8 o'clock Eastern or 5 a.m. Pacific. If you're up with me from the Pacific, God bless. Thank you. I appreciate you for sure. 5 a.m. But yeah, we used to be a different time. But so I do energetic work. It's kind of in a revamp as I'm revamping. So the message revamp. There's a lot of channeling. I realize I'm channeling my higher self. Thank you, and I appreciate Lucky especially for pointing that out and realize it's like, wait, we've been waiting for you to say that, and I truly appreciate that, guys. But yeah, and sometimes you need to hear messages, but you can't hear them directly from yourself, so you end up channeling back to yourself the messages that you need to hear. It's kind of crazy, but that's how this works here. And so we do energetic work. The idea is to lift our intuition and to connect with our higher self, to change our energies so that we're working on a path to create our universes and clear our karmic selves so that we don't destroy. If we don't clear our karmic selves, we're just going to keep having the same patterns that don't allow us to create our universes and keep spinning the same wheels. So that's what we do. My intentions, and of course, one of the unintentional / intentional things was to create a universe, right? And now we have Lucky, part of our universe, and Victor and Trista, and all these different channels, Millie, and all these different channels that we can go to, and pretty much. 4 or 5 different channels, in some cases a day, where we can go see Hershey. We can go see Wounds to Wisdom Teresa, who's live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's all different channels. We can go watch Lucky. We can go whomever it might be, and really Mr. Mission Control, and watch all kinds of different fun stuff. And really, and Trista's videos and Victor Live. And so the idea was that I was sitting here alone and watching YouTube and just watching YouTube. But now we have a universe that we can watch each other, hang out with each other. We send emails back and forth. There's a Discord if you want to join. And so it's really been a whole big change here, and it just keeps happening. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of you guys who were a part of that universe. Thank you all for being a part of that. Tomorrow, Angela will be live on Good Dawning. She's going to do light language, and she has an angelic voice. If you have not seen her, Angela, please put your channel in the chat there, and we'll get it up there. And so if you have not subscribed, or at least don't know her channel, there it's also on the pinned comments on my channel here. But guys, we're going to get this wrapped up here. And
One other thing,
yes,
I made Angela a mod. She's our only mod, but I made her a mod so she could post her link. So Angela, if you can
oh,
post your
beautiful.
channel
Thank
link.
you. I was going to say the at, but that beautiful. Thank you, Victor. Um,
Also, Karen asked, you're starting 15 minutes early, Victor, or staying later?
I'm starting 15 minutes early only on Wednesday, only on the 9th, just for my anniversary show in the AM and the PM.
Perfect.
And I'm 8 subs away from 100 if anyone wanted to sub to my channel.
Hey guys,
Oh.
please jump on there and let's get Trista up to 100. We'll make you the small channel tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here again. If you need a link to Angela's channel outside of this, you can go to the community page on my channel, and Angela is linked there. And we'll see you guys in the dawning tomorrow. Trista, thank you. Millie, big favor and healing there. Let's send love again out to Millie and hold her in your prayers tonight, that she has a peaceful rest and a helpful healing rest tonight with her angels there as she works through whatever is moving through her now. There we go. Favor. All right, guys. Victor, thank you. We look forward to your 1 year anniversary and your extended show on Wednesday. It's going to be amazing. And Lucky, thank you for all that you do, and check out his shorts. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. Episode 4 will be next week, and our next host is going to have to be Tristan. Next week we're going to have Trista hosting, and yep, hot seat.
Hey, Victor hasn't hosted yet.
What's that?
I'm good waiting till after Victor.
Well, no,
I think the universe is calling you, Trista.
hey, that's it. That's it. Sometimes the fear bucket gets passed to you, so you just can pass it on and never have to pick it up again, right? But there, yeah, exactly. But so Trista will be hosting us next week there. And guys, thank you so much for being here. We love you all, and have a fantastic evening. And thank you from the bottom of Nuestra Tabla Rasa's heart there. We appreciate that you joined us, and we appreciate seeing you guys next week. Love you all. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you.